Hello, I'm Charlotte Boundy and I graduated from Aura in 2014 and London School of Musical Theatre in 2022. I'm making this video for you because I understand how difficult it is to fund your drama or music school training. I'm going to start this video off with mentioning that I started at zero. So I'm going to talk you through how I went about getting my funding. The first thing I did was organised a gig or performance. Now, my gig was during lockdown, so mine had to be online. If there's any local spaces that would be willing to host you for one night for free or for a very cheap price. That evening you can put on your very own concert, singing or playing your instrument, or maybe even a scratch night, acting or comedy. Whatever it is, have a little think, plan accordingly, set that up. The next thing you want to do is shout about it on social media, get friends and family to come down, get friends of your friends to come down, get friends of your family to come down, local businesses, invite everyone you can think of. Maybe you can even invite your local MP. You never know, they might share it on their social media. If you can get somebody to film your performance, just on an iPhone is fine, that would be great because you can then use it for further marketing materials. Once you've done that performance, start a GoFundMe. GoFundMe is brilliant because it allows you to upload pictures and videos as well as regular updates about your progress. You can direct people towards the GoFundMe link easily and hopefully they will help with whatever they can. Once you've done this, I recommend going to this website, which I'm going to talk you through now. So what you want to do is head on over to this website, www.gov.uk/government/organisations/charity-commission. This is a great site because it contains basically every charity and trust that exists in the UK. So you're going to go on to find a charity. And then you're going to click on the advanced search button just on the right hand side here. Now when I did this, I left the first two sections blank and I went straight down to the first section here. Sorry, I should say the second section. So I went down to income and expenditure. Now on the expenditure range, you want to type in something quite large because if you type in a figure that's too small on the minimum end, you may come across charities and trusts who are not currently grant giving or don't currently have the funds. So I put in sort of 50,000 as my starting block and then a separate figure in the maximum amount. If you put in a number like 2 million, you're going to end up with trusts and charities that only really donate to organisations. So you want to put maybe like a number like this. Then you will go down to classifications. So this is what the charity does. Tick anything that applies to you. So for this one, I actually ticked general charitable purposes. It sounds general, but one of them did actually give to me that said that they did that. It's definitely worth ticking education and training. I have dyslexia, so I ticked disability. I definitely ticked arts and culture. I also ticked accommodation and housing in case there was anyone that could support me with that. So I'd advise ticking anything here that relates to you or what you're about to embark on for your musical theatre, drama or music course. Who the charity helps, definitely make sure that you tick that one. Anything that relates to you, for example, if you are of a particular ethnic or racial origin. Some charities give specifically to people from certain countries. I actually ticked people with disabilities or because I have dyslexia and ADHD. So tick anything here again that relates to you. Definitely make sure you've ticked below. It says make grants to individuals. Make sure you tick that box under how the charity helps. In a moment I will get there. Here we go, so makes grants to individuals. It's definitely not worth ticking any of the others because they won't relate to what you're trying to do. And then I go down to, I make sure that I've ticked main way of carrying out purposes is grant making. Obviously we're trying to avoid taking out any loans here. Then you tick the areas that you're in. So I'm in England and London. and then it's definitely worth ticking the areas that you are living in within the UK. This is because some of the trusts and charities give specifically to people in the local area, so it's really worthwhile ticking everything that applies in terms of where you're living. It's also worth being really specific on London Borough as well. There's a lot of grants within London that will make charitable donations. And then hit search. Now you can see that's brought our search to 104 matches. So what you do with each one is you click into them. So let's start with the first one here, the Eric W. Vincent Trust Fund. Just at the top here, we'll click on that and have a look at what they do. Now this is great because this gives you a really good overview of what the charity does, who they help, and how much money they have available to give. So we can see here they make small grants to local organisations, which isn't helpful to us. However, they also make grants sometimes to disadvantaged individuals in the local area. So whichever area they are local to, sometimes they help individuals. That's great. That means that this contact is worth writing a lovely letter to. One thing I would say is it's worth clicking trustees on the left because it shows you've taken the time to find out who runs this trust. On this occasion there's 10 names. I wouldn't write all 10 of them. I'd probably write Dear Dorothy Williams and trustees. And it just shows that you've taken that extra bit of time to figure out who they are and what they do. Again, you can click here on the left and find out a little bit more. Yep, makes grants to individuals, great. And then it says the areas that they help. It's also worth checking if the trust or charity has their own website, because sometimes they've got further detail on there about what or when or how they give the money. Sometimes you have to enter a competition, sometimes you have to write a letter, sometimes there's a form to fill out, so it's always worth double checking that. This one doesn't seem to have a website, which means we'll go the good old-fashioned way and just send one of our lovely letters that we've written out. So basically you go down the list like this. There's 100 to get through, so it'll keep you busy for a couple of hours. On this one it doesn't look like it's going to be helpful for what we're looking for, which is funding for musical theatre or drama or music, because this is to do with other things. So I'd go back and then I would click on the next one. That's pretty much everything on this section, and there we go. Think about what's going to make you stand out. Can you write a handwritten letter? Can you produce a leaflet which has more information about you or about what you're trying to achieve? Can you include a QR code which you can generate for free online, which perhaps links to videos of you performing or videos of the performance that you gave earlier? Making sure that in the letter there's a link to the GoFundMe, because some people might want to donate directly. Now you may be wondering what to put in that letter. Just to run you through very briefly, what I did is I introduced the reason that I was writing to them. I then spoke a little bit about what I'm already doing myself to fund my drama school training. After I talked about what I was already doing myself to fund my drama school training, I talked about why I wasn't able to fund the full amount myself. It's a good idea to then write about the adverse circumstances which you may be experiencing, which are preventing you from coming up with the full amount of funds that you need for drama school. I would then add in how much you've managed to save already, and then how much more you need for not just tuition costs, but also your living costs. What I also found helpful at this stage was to, on a computer, write out my total budget for the year that I was currently in and the year or years that I was planning on being at drama school. I then printed this out multiple times and included this with my letters so I could show I'd really sat down and thought about how much money I need and why. Don't forget to include a little bit of budget for materials, course equipment, shoes, etc. When I applied, I sent out about 50 letters requesting funding, and I managed to secure £10,000 towards my living costs, as well as £16,000 towards my tuition costs. It's definitely possible. Please don't be disheartened if you don't hear back straight away. Keep writing, keep asking, keep hustling, keep pushing, and you will get there. Best of luck!